Hi, my name's Rob Wilson. I'm a rally driver driving this Ford Fiesta R2 behind me in the 2020 BTRD8 Gravel Rally Series. I've just got the car back together as the gearbox was off for a rebuild because we lost second gear on the last event. So I'm just going to show you how to do a gearbox oil change and an engine oil and filter change using Ravenol oils. So as you can see, I'm underneath the car now. So on this car there's this aluminium drain plug. On standard road cars it will look more like just this back bit here. It's quite a small gripping surface for the spanner or socket to go onto, so make sure you're fully on when you're undoing it. But before you undo that, I'd go to the top, or often sometimes on the side here of your gearbox where the filler plug is, and I'd just make sure you can get the filler plug undone, as you don't want to undo and drain all your oil without making sure you can put it all back in. So this gearbox only holds 1.2 litres of oil, so I can use a fairly small container. And when I drain it out, I'll put it into this clear container here, as you can see. And that allows me to see what kind of condition the oil's coming out in. I tend to make sure and shine a torch over the top of it to make sure there's no metal or oils that shouldn't have been in the gearbox before. Over the top of the gearbox now, and you can see the filler is this same aluminium plug on the top. Now it's quite difficult to get to because there's a clutch line and a few sensors going over the top. So what I tend to do is I have this little funnel. I use a bit of hose pipe which I've heated up and formed over the top of it, and I've again heated up and put this onto this cheap Halfords funnel thing, and I just sit that on top fully over the valve and then just let all the oil sink in. It takes quite a while, but as it's only 1.2 litres I'm putting in, or 1 litre if it's not being rebuilt, it should be okay, and it doesn't take too long at all. So as you guys know, Ravenol have been a huge supporter of us for 3 years and a sponsor that's helped us to win the 2019 Junior Rally Championship. I'll put in a few clips of us driving.
It is safe to say that this weekend, well, it wasn't the best for Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett. A puncture in the morning would be followed by gearbox problems and a rear wheel locking on. And as if that wasn't all enough to contend with, a broken wishbone was causing them some interesting handling, shall we say. But they do make it through to the finish, and with 11th place. Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett, it was a step up from junior rallying to compete on the first senior event for Rob. His first time on the gravel as well, going well at this stage with that in mind. Second in the W4 class, 13th. It was still a good debut on gravel for Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett. An impressive performance at that. The step up from the juniors had gone well. They take 4th place. A new intercom already on order before the next round. For David Gathercole.
So just a quick tip, when you're changing your oil, obviously they come in 1 litres for the gearbox and 5 litre jugs for the engine. Obviously it's available in different sizes, but when it comes to the one where you're going to use a certain percentage of it, I'll use a paint marker at the starting point. You see I've already used 200 ml of this on the previous gearbox change, and then I've marked where I'm going to be finishing. Obviously it's just below the 800 line, so I've marked it just below the 600 here. It's just so there's no question in your mind when you come to stop that you've got the right amount in there, just peace of mind, and you know, it's got to be done right. So I'm now coming to filling the gearbox. I've made sure that I've torqued up my plug at the bottom and paint marked it so I know if it was coming loose. So let me just undo the aluminium cap, and then I'm going to put on my nice okay, so now I'm going to fill the gearbox with 1.2 litres of Ravenol oils. So I just start slowly. You don't want to overdo it and let the air come back out after it. It takes a while with this gearbox. So just a quick tip, when you're getting your funnel and your little blower pipe on, just before you connect it up, just make sure 100% there's no leftover sediment or no leftover oil in the funnel. Just get some brake cleaner or alcohol on it and just wipe over the top of it, just making sure that anything you're putting in the gearbox is just the oil, as even the smallest bits can make such a massive difference. There we go. And that's the 1 litre done. So now I just need to do 200 millilitres and we shall be done. So with a lot of stuff on this rally car, I just make sure I paint mark it like this, so you can see if it moves during a stage or anything. Now this isn't a standard road car thing. You wouldn't find this at your local mechanics shop or anything like that. It's just on rally cars, you're going through a lot of stress and it's going over a lot of gravel and there's a lot of vibrations going through the chassis. So you tend to get bolts coming loose more so than you would do on a standard road car. So it's just, you know, you don't want stuff coming loose doing 90 miles an hour down a forest road. So, you know, I've just paint marked it here and just to make sure. It's just precautionary. The engine oil. Firstly, I'm going to undo the sump plug and let the oil drain out. Then I'm going to go to the filter and take the filter off and replace it with a new one. It's just better to do that every event, saves any trouble with the oil. Once I've done that, I'll torque the drain plug back up and go on up to the top and fill it with some nice Ravenol oil. So I'd like to end the video by saying a huge thank you to Ravenol. Without them, we couldn't have achieved what we've achieved over the last 3 years. So a huge thanks to them. And guys, just make sure you're safe at home and cheers.